Good morning, students. Today we are going to see about disaster risk management in second unit. So, in this unit, we are going to see the disaster risk reduction, Sendai framework, disaster cycle, culture of safety, prevention, mitigation, and preparedness, roles and responsibilities of stakeholders. So, the disaster risk reduction is nothing but how the potential of lives and how to avoid the injury or destroyed or damaged assets which occurred in a system or society in a particular period, which is due to a function of hazard or exposure or capacity. So, if you are using these senses, technical senses, we are using the terms hazard, exposure, and vulnerability. So, for example, if you assume if a settlement is established in a river source, always the hydrologists and the scientists they always check how the flood will affect and create a hazard in that particular area. So, these kind of analysis should be made. So, the disaster risk reduction means to avoid that disaster, how we are preventing it, how we are mitigating it, how we are preparing for that. So, this is what we call disaster risk reduction. So, the risk prevention, mitigation, preparedness, response and recovery, all this comes under this disaster risk reduction management. So, for this we supposed to use a Sendai framework structure. That means in the year 2015, the global agreement is made in between the 2015 to 2013. That is what we call Sendai framework. So, in this framework, it always consider about a priority for the disaster risk, strengthening the governance, how we investing money for the reduction and resilience, and we are enhancing the preparedness for the response, and how we are shifting the disaster from one area to another area proactively, and how we are taking care of the people, society, including women, children, disabilities and elder people. For that we are giving importance. So, the Sendai framework is established by the UN office, so which consists in year 2015. In the 2015 at Sendai, a place in Japan, this conference is established. During that conference, the world people, the world leaders, the delegates, they come to a conclusion and a suggestion of taking care of this disaster risk reduction. So, in this Sendai framework, particularly from the period of 2015 to 30, the global roadmap for reducing human and economic loss will be the main cost due to disaster is considered. For that, nearly $1 invested for every $15 post disaster recovery per person per country. So, in this framework, 2016, 38 indicators were recommended, and then based on that 38 recommendations, 4 priorities were given: understanding the disaster risk, strengthening the disaster risk, investing and enhancing the preparedness, build back better. That's the motto of this disaster. So, nearly 150 official sessions were there, 185 countries were attended, 50,000 public forum visitors were attended that event, nearly 49 IGOs and 188 NGOs and 25 presidential and vice presidents, government persons were attended. Nearly 3,500 local staff and volunteers were attended that event. So, this is the Sendai framework, which have a goal and priorities, the four priorities, and it concerns about the global partnership. These are the main focus. One is mortality, people affected, economic loss, critical loss, all these were categorized, and these are the substantial sustainable development goals. So these are the main categories which we discussed. Thank you, students.